quarterfinals. It set up some really amazing semi-final encounters which happen tomorrow, on Wednesday and on Thursday, and those games will be live on SABC Sports, so watch out for that. But let me introduce you to the men here in the studio. I'll give you their views. I've got Mark Haskins closest to me. I've got Promotional Manenje at the far post. And gentlemen, it's been fascinating so far, but what I've seen for me in the group stage, in this last 16 and in the quarterfinals, if you miss critical moments of that, if you miss a critical open chance, you're made to pay. You go out of this tournament.
Yeah, it's at that point now. That's why they call it the business end of the tournament, because any slight mistake, whether it's a defender slipping or whatever, any mistake could be very costly. Missing a goal, like you say, could be very costly, because that could literally be the difference between you exiting and going through.
I mean, Pagania, we'll see it later, but there was a time where a Pirates player, it can be argued, maybe sent his team going out of the tournament with a miss.
I love the way you addressed me today, Pagania.
Oh.
And Mamele, even in respect.
Sorry.
3 goals. Three goals, 3 games.
Kabadino Mango.
Kabadino Mango.
Yes.
He plays
one miss.
You know, he plays for the Flames, right?
Yeah.
It's where she's at.
But that miss, that miss could have meant that could be the miss that stayed Malawi out.
Again, respect. Goal of the tournament.
Okay.
Goal of the tournament.
Okay.
Goal of the tournament.
All right.
Our viewers will tell us.
Yeah, no, we saw. Okay, and then, gentlemen, let's get to the news stories. And then I want us to debate something else that's burning in my heart around the Africa Cup of Nations, and that is VAR. Think about it at home. Send us through your tweets as well, at Soccerzone for sure. Is VAR ruining this Africa Cup of Nations, especially when it comes to the red cards? Like the red cards and the VAR, is it ruining the tournament for you? Tell me what you think. Let's get to the first news story, which speaks about the stadium in Yaoundé, and that is the Olembe Stadium. This is where 8 people lost their lives last week, Monday, with the Stampede, Cameroon up against Comores. Now, when you look at the latest news coming out, the announcement from CAF is that they've got the report. I even read some of what the Minister of Sport had to say out of Cameroon, and he was blaming it on somebody opening a gate. So CAF has decided that, yes, the stadium will reopen, and it will be used for the semi-final, which will be taking place midweek. So there you go, stadium is back. Moving on to the next news story. And we saw Ghana do the same thing. Ghana firing their coach, Milovan Rajabek. And I thought, wow, you know, they're supposed to go to the World Cup qualifiers next, and they're firing the coach so quickly. Anyway, Tunisia have done the same thing, and they've got rid of their coach. Jalil Kadri's miss, I think, is the main issue there. But for Kabair, he's out.
Yeah, I think with the Ghana one, you can't understand, because they had a woeful tournament. Tunisia, on the other hand, I mean, they got better as the tournament progressed, and I mean, they got to obviously the knockout phases, and it's a tough one, and I think especially for the coach just before those qualifiers, because they're going to come up against a Mali outfit who are also top-notch, so a bit premature for my liking.
But you can't lose to a team 30 places below you on the rankings. That's the situation in Tunisia. They say you can't lose to Burkina Faso. They're 30 places behind you on the rankings. Sorry, coach, you're out.
In Tunisia, they thought they got one of the easiest draws when it came to the quarterfinals, and they felt that on paper they deserve to beat Burkina Faso. And when that did not happen, they went to one man. They went to the coach and said, "Coach, was your lineup right? Was your tactics on the day right? Was your substitution, which is live coaching, was it that correct?" And they say, "Coach, all the blame goes to you. Therefore, you are the head on the block. We have to go."
51-year-old Monder Kaber is out. He's been in charge since 2019, but it's not the case anymore. His assistant, Jalil Kadri, will replace him as the coach. And Kadri's even going to take charge of the playoffs for the World Cup against Mali. The assistant is carrying on.
Exactly. So normally a coach moves with his technical team, but clearly Kadri is doing something that, you know, the powers that be feel he's the man to take them into a critical home and away clash against Mali. We'll see how that one turns out, though.
Last story we got for you now. And, well, I won't say Egypt must go out of the tournament, but it would have been beneficial to Pitso Mosimani's Al-Ahly team if Egypt had gone out earlier in the tournament. It hasn't occurred. Now Al-Ahly have to go to the FIFA Club World Cup, which starts on the 3rd of February without some key men. They'll be missing Al-Shanawi, Ashraf, Tawik, Fatih, Al-Saluya, Mohammed Sharif. All of them in the Egyptian squad right now. All of them needed by Peter Mosimane at the FIFA Club World Cup, and all of them will not make that trip.
He had the same problem during the Olympics because the likes of El-Shanawi had to go. He couldn't play for Al-Ahly. He had to go with the Olympics. Maybe just to give you a background, El-Shanawi, when they came third at the Club World Cup, El-Shinawi was in goals. This is a man that in 2021, Thomas, El-Shinawi, he kept 32 clean sheets for club and country. That's the impact that they're going to miss. Well, El-Shinawi is not there. He was at the Olympics also for Egypt. So he's a very key man that Peter Mosimane is going to be missing in that Al-Ahly team.
If the Egypt goalkeeper has L in front of his name, he's going to be a legend. Al-Hadri and El-Shinawi. Those are the men. Sorry, Peter, but we do believe that he still has the ability to make Africa proud at the FIFA Club World Cup, push that Al-Ahly team as far as it can go.
He certainly does, and I think this almost takes pressure off of him because not many people will be expecting him to do well without his, international superstars. So now he can go there with a young team and really just go and give it his best shot, I guess.
Coach Egypt, boy. Egypt, there will be no pressure. They came third the last Club World Cup. They want to do better than that. Equal that or better than that.
Okay, so I don't want us to debate that another day. I want us to get into this conversation I started earlier on, which is VAR's red cards. Is it ruining the tournament? I couldn't believe it. Senegal, Cape Verde, guys. The game has just started. I mean, we're just enjoying our last 16 game. And then referee red card, VAR. No, man. No.
Again, for me, if you look at this tackle as well, for me, common sense has to apply. Even when the ref sees it, it's a yellow at best. And even that, because
and that's what he does.
It's a 50-50 challenge.
Yellow.
And he actually gets contact on the ball. He wins, and his momentum takes him over the ball. He rolls on the ball, and unfortunately...
Look at the time on the clock. This is the last 16 of the Cup of Nations. He gets the ball first, the ball bounces backwards, he gets the tackle in, does Andrade, gets the ball, then goes over the ball, which is not on purpose.
Yeah, literally his momentum took him over the ball. And
red card, the referee's done the right thing, but when he goes to the screen, and at this AFCON, Pumuzo, when you go to the screen, already you should be in the change room already when the referee goes to the screen.
I think that is the instruction in the ear.
Wow.
Because when you're looking at Andrade here, Thomas, Andrade plays his football in Azerbaijan. And he goes into that tackle, he gets the ball. And after he gets the ball, on the follow-through, which is momentum, takes him through to tackle a player from Senegal in that moment. So Andrade gets the ball on the follow-through. So for me, if you get the ball first, it's a yellow card offense. The referee had done the correct thing by giving a yellow card.
Yeah.
But if
Gui is the man fouled there. He makes a meal of it, he rolls around, but here's the question. It still stands. Red card decisions for VAR. Should they be used like it's being used at the tournament? Because I want to give you one statistic. After the group stage, and when we got through the last 16, by that stage, there'd been 13 red cards at this Cup of Nations. That's more than at the last 4 Africa Cup of Nations tournaments in total. This AFCON.
That's crazy. And again, for me, it's like common sense is not prevailing. We'll show a few other red card decisions as well where goalkeeper gets a red card while he's sitting on the side of the pitch. And that's also based on VAR. And that's why I've never been a fan of VAR in general. I feel like referees are there. They're human. They can make mistakes. The same way strikers miss tap-ins in front of goals. Referees also allowed. They're human. They can make mistakes. You're taking away the human element of the game when you're bringing in VAR, and that's why I'm against it.
So your vote is it should just be gone completely, everything.
Everything. It wastes time.
Me, I don't agree there.
You have to look at what happened in the Senegal game yesterday. They could have been given a penalty, and where Koulibaly's hand was in a natural position, the referee had given a penalty.
Our referee, Victor Gomes.
Our referee, Victor Gomes. What if they had to go out from that penalty? So in terms of game-changing moments like penalties, did it cross the line? Is he offside? Did the goalkeeper come off the line before the penalty was taken? There, VAR needs to be used because it's going to change the result of the game.
My problem is there's still errors with VAR.
I agree.
Do you understand? So if we're going to make errors, let it be at the spur of the moment, not when you've reviewed it. So you're reviewing something and still getting it wrong. I can't accept that.
And this is where I think we can sum it up. And this is what I think you guys at home can also give your perspective there. But I agree with you, Pumunto. When did the ball cross the line? Is it offside?
Game-changing moments.
Those ones, VAR, fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to argue later. But when we still see it on VAR and then we still say, but it could have been this or it could have been that. When it's subjective, can we just leave the ref to just let the ref do it and let him do it? Because VAR is not helping.
It still comes down to someone's opinion.
Yes.
It's not a fact,
And
it's an opinion.
one, we don't need VAR.
We don't need that.
I agree.
We don't need that.
Yes. What do you think at home? At Soccerzone for sure is where you can do it. Let's go on to the Mnandi moment of the week. Here it is. They're talking about it as the goal of the tournament. Number 11 for the Flames. That's Gabadinho Mango, Orlando Pirates striker. New contract has been extended at Pirates, but maybe that's the reason he thought, let me fire this in the back of the net.
3 games, 3 goals scored. The way he receives the ball, Thomas has got 3 defenders around him. It's the critical phase of the game, 6-7 minutes into the game. The ability and the vision to be able to receive. When he received that pass from John Banda, the captain, he has got one thing on his mind. I've got players around me, and it's not just players. You're talking about Hakimi that is putting pressure
number 2.
on
We're
Gabadinho
PSG.
Mango. He plays for PSG.
Oh, shit, you want to wear PSG?
No, Mbappe.
Look there.
No,
That's
Mbappe.
Hakim.
You know Hakim. No, Mbappe at the best right back in the world. Mango turns the man. And this reminds me of a Gabadinho Mango that was playing at Orlando Pirates in 2019-20 season, when he scored 17 goals in all competition for Orlando Pirates. When I saw him at AFCON, I saw the fire, I saw the hunger, I saw Gabadinho Mango that is showing that he wants to score goals. And he did that so well at this AFCON. Can he come back with the same form to Orlando Pirates? But well-taken goal by Gabadinho Mango. He reminds me of the Gabadinho Mango that took the Golden Boot home.
Mark, is that the best moment we've seen at this AFCON for you?
The best goal.
Yeah.
Certainly. I think because it's in open play, we've seen some delightful free kicks being scored.
hit one.
Those free kicks are contenders also, but this is open play. He's got 3 green jerseys around him, red jerseys, I should say, but composure. And it's almost like he didn't really have much else that was on. But it was absolutely phenomenally hit. Saw the keeper off his line, beautifully struck. Definitely goal of the tournament thus far.
And I know I spoke to Mango on the Ultimate Sports Show on Metro FM right after he'd done that, and he explains. He says, listen, a coach had told me, keepers are creeping forward, take a chance. And he just did. He just unleashed one, took a chance, top of the top corner.
The goal ya manaka-naka, nga Gabadinho Mango.
There you go. That's it. We are going to go to a quick break. After the break, look out for the highlights of the last 16 and the moments of controversy and interest that follow.
Tune in and stay entertained with our sports shows on SABC Sport. Keep up with the best sports entertainment, brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game. For the love of the game.
Welcome to the family. Without you, it's just a sport. The Bundesliga, live on SABC Sport Channel, on OpenView 124, S3, SABC DTT, and also available on Telkom One. We love it here. Hashtag, you are the Bundesliga.
This is where we come alive. Our world is made up of 4 corners that always begin at the heart of it all. With a common language understood by all. One language that is grounded in fair play, and we love it here. We We are the family united by colors, badges, and stadiums. A family that waits for the deciding whistle to either cry or rejoice, but always together.
We are winning the league. We are winning the league this year. The only silver way you're winning is this now.
And this place is where we tackle disconnect and celebrate our differences. Where legends roll and the experience of bulging nets and the last-minute breathtaking moments unparalleled.
What a finish!
A place of pride. We come from all walks of life, but we never walk alone. Because our home is a level playing ground. From Zanzibar to Europe, Gazi to Germany, to the Netherlands, to England, this is our home.
Brilliant!
Our home is football, and we love it here. Catch the best in local and international football live on the SABC Sport Channel, SABC TV channels, and SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. Welcome to football.
Senegal took advantage of playing against a 9-man Cape Verde side in their round of 16 match played in Bafoussam as they secured a 2-0 victory in an ill-tempered game. The first red card came in the 21st minute as Patrick Andrade received his first marching orders after the VAR ordered a straight red card following a gruesome tackle on Idrissa Gueye. Laphinde labuya futhi ikhadi elibomvu emzuzwini yama-57 ngenkathi unozinti we-Cape Verde ashayisana ngekhanda nayo-ke uSadio Mane. I-VAR yaphinde yayilamula kwaphela kanjalo-ke ngovuzinho. The Teranga Lions immediately made full use of the two-man advantage and Mane scored his second goal of the two, beautifully finishing off a loose ball after the opposition had failed to clear their lines. With the 9-man trying to push for an equalizer, zabuya gege esga Alio Sise ngomzuzu wokugcina bashaya counter-attack enzima as Didio combined nicely with the substitute Bamba Dieng to put the game beyond reasonable doubt. 2-0 was the final score. Morocco were made to sweat by COSAFA representatives Malawi as they came back from a goal down to clinch a 2-1 victory in their last 16 match. Orlando Pirates striker Gabadinho Mango netted a sensational goal in the 7th minute, without a doubt a leading contender for the goal of the tournament, Unyazi Lwendo. Emva kwalokho, it was a wave of attacks, one after the other, as the Atlas Lions searched for an equalizer, and it duly came on the stroke of halftime as Sevilla marksman Yusuf En-Nesyri powerfully headed home from close range. The winning goal came from a stunning free kick, and it was the quality of PSG's Achraf Hakimi once again that won the day. Igoli lakhe lesibili leli kule tournament nge-free kick. It was a highly anticipated game and it lived up to their expectations as Egypt and Ivory Coast took their tussle all the way to the penalties, and the Pharaohs marched on, just winning 5-4 in the spot kicks at the Japoma Stadium in Douala. In the 120 minutes, the game was full of action as both teams produced chance after chance, with Egypt hitting the woodwork as early as the 16th minute. The Ivorians also responded and were denied by the brilliant Al-Ahly number 1 Al-Shanawy, who was later subbed off due to injury. In the penalty kicks, abaseGibhithe benze lezi abadume ngazo bawashaya wonke ama-penalty wabo, kanti futhi umdlali wodumo we-Liverpool uMo Salah, well, he scored the decisive penalty to confirm a place in the last 8 and set up a North African derby against Morocco. In one of the big upsets in the last 16 stage, Equatorial Guinea shocked Mali as they knocked out the top 10 ranked African nation out of the tournament, beating them 6-5 on penalties in Limbe. Just before halftime, the Eagles were unfortunate to have had a penalty call overturned by the VAR. Thereafter, as the game continued, it all came down to the lottery of penalties as none of the teams could score in regulation time. Imali ke yona igeje ama-penalty amathathu esebenza kakhulu nozinti weNzalang Nacional u-Owono as they reach the last 8 in sensational fashion.
Right, so that's how it went. There's confirmation of Tuesday, Wednesday, when it came to the round of last 16. And guys, there were some results there that caught us by surprise, especially what happened on Wednesday. No one could find goals.
Yeah, tough one. Obviously, both games going to penalties. I think the Ivory Coast and Egypt game, there were a lot of great opportunities in that game. So crossbars being struck, but it wasn't to be at the end of the day in terms of goals.
Betting men would have said Ivory Coast to beat Egypt on form at the tournament, but Egypt go through on penalties.
Same thing that happened with Nigeria and against Tunisia as well. You would have put your house on Nigeria beating Tunisia, and I think the same thing with Ivory Coast based on current form, how they came through the group. But yeah, Egypt, ultimately, I think they did well to get through.
And Equatorial Guinea, that's an upset against Mali. That's a big upset.
It's a very big upset because you're looking at a Mali team that is established at AFCON. You're looking at an Equatorial Guinea that is only making their third appearance at AFCON. So in terms of experience, in terms of rankings, you thought that it should have been an easy game for Mali, but not to be with the determination from the likes of Pablo Garnett. I thought it was amazing in this tournament. Ntsue up front for them, the experience of being in the previous AFCON, Bono at the back, the centre back. I thought those three players were very key, especially for Equatorial Guinea to go through and do well. You
speak about the AFCON. The man who's been speaking about AFCON is Sadio Mane. And you know what he's saying? He's saying that he'd give up all his medals in Europe, all his medals in England, to just win an Africa Cup of Nations medal. He'd give all those away just for this. And you're starting to see that kind of performance.
You can see, I mean, even there, look at that, how he absolutely crashes the ball against the crossbar there.
30 seconds.
He literally, under a minute into the game, they made their intentions clear in this one. And very unlucky there. Great strike, exactly what you want him to do. He just bends his, wraps his leg around it. But he just hasn't had the luck in this tournament, unfortunately. But yeah, great 1-2 again with Ghana Gay. You can see the combination between the two of them. Very good understanding, but unfortunately not able to get on the end of it to beat the keeper.
Vozinha coming out here, getting to the feet of Sadio Mane. Great tackle as well, sliding on the floor. I think it was Fortes who does the work down there. Coming up with a great tackle as well. Keeper, everybody does enough to keep Sadio out. Then, moment of controversy here. Red card. Vozinha goes up for the header. Sadio Mane goes crashing down. And a red card is given to the keeper.
First time I saw it, I thought there was nothing wrong. I looked at the slow-mo. I've got the advantage of looking at the slow-mo when I'm sitting at home. And when I saw this, Doxo was applied here. When you're looking at it, Doxo was applied.
Denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. That's what Doxo means.
Exactly that. Denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. How is it obvious? When it goes to the slow-mo, that is where I'm going to pause it for you and show you why is it obvious. Because Sadio Mane is one-on-one with Stopia in this moment to try to get to the ball. Now, as soon as Vozinha comes off his line, he plays his football in Greece, that is Vozinha. Mane plays his football in Liverpool. Pause it there. As you pause it there, why is it an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? Because now the question is, who gets to the ball? Sadio Mane gets to the ball. So you are looking at distance to goal. Pause it there. You're looking at distance to goal, direction of play. You are looking at the number of defenders allocated around the ball. Is Mane in control of the ball?
No.
So he's in control. Mamela, Thomas. If roll it forward, Mane touches the ball.
But here's my thing. Once Mane touches that, Stopira is now covering.
Now
it's no longer obvious here.
Now we'll roll it forward to make it. Oh, why is it obvious for you? Roll it slightly forward. We'll roll it slightly forward to see the reaction of Stopia. Now, look at, pause it there. Is Mane now going, Doxo, you have to look at direction of play. Is Mane going towards the ball?
I'm saying here.
Is Mane
going to get, but I'm also saying the defender might get there first.
Here's the question, Thomas. Is Mane still going in the direction of the ball? Yes. That's why you're saying he's in control because he's the last man to touch the ball. If you roll it forward, you're going to see that if you roll it forward, the ball does not go out of play even.
Yeah. So you feel Mane would have got to the ball after the header if the keeper doesn't touch him?
Yes. If the keeper doesn't touch him, Mane still gets to the ball.
I disagree.
And there's no other player behind the ball except Stopia.
Look at where the ball bounces. The ball literally ends up, the first bounce of the ball is on the 6-yard box, basically.
Yeah, he's never
the second bounce is pretty much out of the field.
My
thing is, I understand Doxo, and I understand that, you know, that they've got this law around the game. But where does common sense come in? Common sense has to be applied. This was a 50-50. The ball was in the air. The goalkeeper challenged for it.
Mark,
he had every right to challenge for
Mark,
it. They went up in the air. Did he? Okay, wait. Answer me this. Did the goalkeeper have a right to challenge for it?
Mark,
wait.
Yeah,
did he have a right to challenge for it?
No,
just that.
I want to answer that. have you never received the ball, flicked it, and received it on the other side?
You can, but
okay.
that was not going to happen there.
Mane has the ball, he was still going to get to the ball.
I doubt he's going to get to it. I doubt he's going to get to the ball.
Guys.
Even if he doesn't get to the ball.
Even the flash was not going to get there.
Can we go to the VAR decision, though?
Yeah.
Because the goalkeeper had every right to challenge for that ball. It was a 50-50 in the air. This, for me, common sense has to apply, and there's no common sense that says the goalkeeper had a right to challenge. How do you give the goalkeeper a red card in this instance? That is ludicrous for my liking.
The referee from Algeria feeling differently. That was the second red card that he was handing out in this game, and that really just finished Capo Verde. Look at the score. It's 0-0, and you're down to 9 outfield players. It was over.
The critical thing is here, 53rd minute, the foul happens. 4 minutes later, he gives the red card. 5 minutes later, now this is where Senegal scores the goal, because now they've got numerical advantage. They've got 2 extra men on the field. And that's where Sadio Mane shows his quality, he shows his class. But in the goal that he scores here, even if Baba Pelele, placement, in terms of the placement, the way he places the ball, the way first touch to receive, head up, there's still a player in behind the goalkeeper to try and save it. Well taken goal by Mane. He goes to now 5 games that he has played, 2 goals, 2 assists in the AFCON. Well, good performance.
What I love about this is you can see, he sees bodies in front of him. I mean, there's at least 5, opposition jerseys in front of him, but he bends it around them. And I think he literally said, okay, that's my contribution. That's enough for me. I've done my job. And he goes down.
Now, you see him collapse there, guys, and everyone surrounding him. Should he have been on the field to score that goal? A lot of medical staff around the world saying, once he hit his head like that, and if you just go back a little bit, you see he says, I can't see. You see just before he scores, and then if you go right there, roll it, look at him, he says,
the gesture.
He says, I can't see. He says, I can't see, it's blurry.
Yeah.
That was from the head injury with Bozinia. Doctors say he should have been off getting treatment, should never have been on the field because he had a concussion.
That's what Sadio Mane was doing, fighting for his country, fighting for the flag. He needed to do one thing, get that goal, and then but he had done the job.
I think concussion protocol in rugby is very clear. In other sports, it's very clear. In football, there's too many gray areas when it comes to concussion protocol.
Right, so there you go. That's how that game ended, and Sadio Mane's contribution was. There's a moment that, Pamudu, you want to talk about. Dieng getting the second goal, wrapping the game up.
Wrapping the game up, well done to Dieng. I thought that he was brilliant. He plays his football for Marseille in France. One thing that I want to show, Thomas, as we go on talk, I want to show you the space that is there. Now, the free kick is not yet taken. There is Dieng in blue. He's going to score the goal. And that is Dia that is going to give the assist. Why is Cape Verde taking a risk? Look at the clock. It's the 90th minute of the game. They are trying to get an equalizer as much as possible.
By 9.
By 9. Now it means it's 9 players, but the key is here when they lose the ball. This is where Fortes loses the ball. Now, this is the same man that we highlighted is going to score, and the man in orange is the man that is going to give the assist. That is the space that they are looking for. That is the space that Dieng wants to use and wants to run in. As you roll it forward, it's 2v1. This is how you use the space when it's 2v1. And in that moment, you are thinking, Dia has got an opportunity to have a shot at goal. He has all the right in the world to go for goal. But now, because he's unselfish, he wants to play in his teammate. That is where the pass is going to go. He goes the unselfish Dia. He gives the ball to Dieng. Look at the composure. He puts the ball in the back of the net. Well taken goal. Let's not forget, at that moment, they were looking for the equalizer. Critical phase of the game, but also remember, they had received 2 red cards.
So that's how you play the 2-on-1. That's textbook, right? 2-on-1 when a defender pull him out, give it to the other guy, score.
That's pretty much what you do. You draw, obviously, the last man to you. So if he does come to you, you lay it off. If he doesn't, you goes through on goal. So great textbook 2v1, and they finished it off beautifully.
Mark, am I being harsh on Gabadino Mango when I say he potentially, had he finished this opportunity, had he put this in the net, we'd be saying Malawi are through and would have played in the quarterfinals. Had Mango here, one-on-one, just pick his spot.
It's not. I think what it cost himself there is his first touch is not good enough. If he takes, we'll see with the replay. If he takes a better first touch right there, if he takes it forward in front of him,
yeah,
he has a better look at goal. It is a tough angle ultimately, but because he is a professional, he'll look back at it himself and think to himself, I could have taken my country through to the last.
He scores there, they go through.
Pretty much. I think
2-0.
2-0. I mean, it's a long way back for Morocco. So I think
any coach will bring the youngster at under 12 and brush his head, because you are told when you're at that angle, it's an acute angle, you have to go across the goalkeeper. That's what Mango did. He did everything correct. Just unfortunate that he dragged the ball a little bit. He scores there, it's 2-0. I think the game is over. It's the 22nd minute. But unfortunate in terms of coaching, he did everything correct, unlucky not to hit target.
Now let's look at a man being described by Mbappe as the best right back in the world, Ashraf Hakimi. These are the big names that have been now shining at the tournament. Wearing the number 2 jersey there, he plays one in. That's what you want from Hakimi. That's what he gives you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is we don't judge him as a right back, because normally you look at defenders and you want to see them defend. But this guy is absolutely marauding up and down the field. Look at where he is, in the box. What is he doing there? He's a right back. He shouldn't be on that.
Great save. So, Tom with a great save, Hakimi with the shot.
Yeah, and he does really well. He puts defenders under pressure, and he is a defender. So great save there, obviously, by Tomu. But Hakimi did exceptionally well. He's a nightmare for defenders.
That's Hakimi there. He wants the penalty for the man sliding on the floor. Again, VAR gets this right. The rules have changed.
Yeah, the end is in a natural position.
You're on the ground sliding. If you're using it to balance yourself.
There's no other place the hand can be. He's using it to balance his body. That's a natural position, and that's why I'm saying that was a correct call. But he keeps on going forward, Hakimi. This is a man that was born in Spain. You look at the clubs that he has played at. He has played at Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan. You don't just play for those clubs if you're not quality. And now he's playing at PSG, and he's been giving performances week in, week out.
And then look at how he wraps it up. The icing on the cake, Hakimi with the...
And let's not forget, that's his second one of the tournament. He hit one in the group phase. It was, I think, against Gabon to equalize and earn his team a point. So, I mean, as a dead ball specialist, he brings in crosses. He does everything. And that's why he's regarded as probably the best right back in the world.
But the thing that kills me is he says, after the game when he was being interviewed, he says, unfortunately, at club level, I can't even put the ball down because there is Messi, there is Mbappe, there is Neymar.
No, but he's going to ask them if they watched AFCON. He's going to say, hey guys, have you been watching AFCON?
Tell who?
Did you see? He's going to tell Messi, hey Messi, did you see me at AFCON?
And Neymar.
Yeah.
And Mbappe.
I might go rough, lady, to ask for the ball at PSG for the free kick. I know it's tough. But he's showing us why at the AFCON he's the man. That's Ashraf Hakimi. We're back after the break as we take you through the remainder of the last 16 and then through to the quarterfinal action.
Kykie, Lady Scully is nie 'n gewone lady nie. Sy gee vir my hierdie Woensdag 7:30 op die KTV 'n kunsles. So kom kuier saam, net op SABC 2.
Kom ons doen ons great reveal nou van Piet Matipa se eerste line-up cut.
En ek is 'n kunstenaar.
Ek is so trots op Aardman nou.
This week on Beyond.
From 2011 to 2018, I've had 8 admissions into a psychiatric ward.
And another thing is that stay true to yourself and stay true to what you are dealing with.
Tune in to Beyond every Saturday at 1 p.m. Make room for more only on SABC2.
They were the rule breakers, the troublemakers, the game changers.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
In a time of unprecedented change, they pushed the boundaries and took us forward.
This is one of the greatest achievements in the history of mankind.
But which of these 20th century icons was the greatest of them all? You decide. Icons, Wednesday at 10, SABC2.
Friday on 2.
Wat sy op van haar kant af doen, sy werf vir belegger vir R75,000 en sê vir hom, oor 6 weke betaal ek jou R85,000 terug. Die belegger maak R10,000 en Usapo Trust maak R15,000.
Jy kom op 'n stadium in 'n piramideskema wat jy nie meer kan verder gaan nie.
Dit is waar die probleem dan ontstaan.
Toe het die kontantvloei, haar kontantvloei, hand uitgeruk. Ons moet vroeg inklim want hierdie ding gaan nie lank hou nie. Ek het net my kop geskit.
How do you invest your money? What are you doing? No, she said, it's quite simple.
Die Hoofddossiere, Friday at 7, SABC2.
New on Thursdays.
Today we find out more about how audio description helps fill in the blanks for someone who cannot see.
People think of excluding people who are blind. Oh, they can't possibly do that. Well, actually be surprised. We can do quite a lot of things.
Persons with disabilities, just like everyone else, are connected.
Activated. Thursday, 8:30 on 2.
If scoring a hat-trick was a pizza, it would be the On the Triple. Go OTT and get the 3 large pizzas for just R229.90. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing. Speaking of amazing, guys, let's go on and have a look at what happened when it came to the game that saw Egypt and Ivory Coast. This game had it all, even though it didn't have goals. Mo Salah was again starting to show the form that he's now being credited with in terms of leading his team to the semi-finals of the Cup of Nations. Look at the shot there. Marmoush hitting the crossbar. 16 minutes into the game, Egypt was showing intent.
Yeah, they certainly were. Great strike. You can see there, Ivory Coast trying to play out of defense, which is also always risky. A loose pass. Marmoush doesn't waste any time. Takes one touch out of his feet. Absolutely lethal shot.
Then, Salah. Salah brings the absolute best out of Badra.
He brings the best out of Badra. You're talking about the JDR goalkeeper, the Liverpool superstar, finds the pockets, 3 defenders around him. He's still able to control.
JDR.
Liverpool versus JDR. Peggy JDR. Peggy JDR stars, love. Thomas.
NFT. And then, look at how Egypt again. This is what will be in danger here for the Egyptians and the danger they bring when they'll be taking on Cameroon in the semi-finals. But that shot there from Mustafa Mohamed.
Yeah. Yet to find his feet, Thomas, in the tournament. But what I love about him is that he's starting to see the passes and the runs that Mo Salah is making. Mustafa plays his football for Galatasaray out in Turkey. So he needs to start finding the goals now because we're in the critical phase of the tournament now.
Now, this game also was the beginning of what they're calling a goalkeeper crisis for Egypt. They lost the starting goalkeeper, Al-Shanawi, in this match. And then the next match, we'll see again how they lose their second goalkeeper. But this is how Al-Shanawi goes. A big blow to the Egyptians. He is so critical, so key. Big saves that he makes there. And then he goes down right there.
I mean, and it is a big blow because I've always maintained that that's probably the most important position on the field for any team.
Instantly.
And
he knew.
Exactly. He knew exactly that whatever happened, I don't know if it's a quad or if it's hamstring, but in making the save, he has injured himself. And it's a double save, if you want to call it that. And he's literally hurt himself. And the goalkeepers have come up big, but Gabaski as well was called upon. And it's the Al-Ahly man being replaced by the Zamalek man. And both of them stood up tall and played massive roles in Egypt getting to the semi-final where they are right now.
There it is, Al-Shanawi going out. But the second choice goalkeeper was big in the penalty shootout. He made saves, kept Egypt in the game, and eventually Egypt going through. So they had depth in that position. But unfortunately for them, they've also lost another goalkeeper. And we'll look at that there. There he is, Gabaski, coming on. Big hero in that game against Cote d'Ivoire with what he did in the shootout. And then, well, let's look at it. Let's see what we've got there very quickly for you in terms of the heroics. What a save there. Eric Bailly, the Man United man. That's him missing the only penalty in that shootout.
The key is for the goalkeeper Gabaski, he stays on his feet for as long as possible. He forces Bailey to make a decision because he's waiting for the keeper to commit. The last penalty goes to Mohamed Salah, and when he put that ball down, he blows, he breathes in and out, and you could see the composure and the focus in him, and he puts the ball in the back of the net. Which other player would you have chosen for Egypt to take that penalty except the superstar?
Yeah, the best player in the world right now potentially is Mo Salah. So let's leave him to take those penalties at moments like that. Let's move on, though, to Mali, Equatorial Guinea. And we can educate here. Here's a chance to give a little bit of education because we haven't really enjoyed red cards and penalties, but this is a moment where a great decision is made.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think, obviously, on the part of Equatorial Guinea...
Penalty! Handball!
They were shouting, putting the referee under pressure. But once again, once the ball comes off one part of the body and onto the hand, you can't give the penalty. It's not a handball. It's off his head, onto his hand, and definitely no penalty and correct decision from the referee and from VAR.
What I love also is that it deflects twice. It hits Haidara. That's the first deflection. The second deflection comes off the head, onto the hand. There is no way you can give that as a penalty. A great call by the ref.
Now, we did highlight again, I mentioned it before, the Miss Mango. Did that maybe cost Malawi their opportunity to stay in the tournament? Kamara here is one that I'm sure they'll be asking questions of and saying, maybe you knocked us out of the tournament here, Kamara.
And he does beautifully because he's the one who sets up the opportunity and he follows it. And you have to hit the target. Let the goalkeeper make the save. Let the player on the line keep it out, but hit the target. And again, that chance is going to haunt him for days to come.
Penalty spot. Penalty spot. Open net to send your team, Mali, through to the next round.
But Kamara is telling him my eyes, boy. Imela's telling him my eyes, Thomas. Composure, he has got the space to control the ball, head up. It's only the goalkeeper to beat and the other defender. If Agelai work on and use the instep, he's going for the lace technique. That's why it goes high. That miss, the supporters said, oh.
Do you forget that? Do you forget misses like that? You played in that position up front. You stroke. When you make a miss like that, do you forget that in a hurry? Can you put it behind you in a hurry?
You need to look for the next ball. You need to look for the next cross. You need to look for the next pass. The only way to correct a miss is to put the ball in the back of the net.
Kamara won't forget this, though.
Not for a long time, especially because it's at such a big stage, such an important moment. It's a massive miss because that literally takes his country through to the semi-final.
All right, so break time. After the break, we go to the quarterfinals.
The fourth season of the hilarious One Day at a Time is fully loaded with lots of surprise.
Welcome home!
I asked Avery to move in with me and she said yes!
Really? Yeah! That's huge!
I know!
Oh. I waited so long to do this.
Oh, I'm just glad we're finally going to do it. Are you sure you're ready?
I am ready. Ashley, let me take this top off.
It's really snug.
No, give me top on!
Mom, today made me appreciate how hard relationships can be. More importantly, how annoying. But don't worry. Nora and I are not going to be like that.
Who's Nora?
Oh, I have a girlfriend.
What?
One Day at a Time, Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. on S3.
It's not every day a patient from one week becomes a doctor the next.
Come on, are you sure hiring this guy was the right move, Jed?
Welcome to the team.
What about questionable decision-making?
You just did whatever you wanted, and those decisions have consequences. If you want me to trust you, I need to know who you are first.
Are you talking about the test I ordered for Jasmine? I'm talking about you being honest with me.
I'm still waiting for your transcripts.
Excuse me?
Your medical school transcripts?
Even for me, it's going to be difficult getting them the papers they asked for.
Leaving a paper trail that proves he is who he says he is. And without those, the hospital assumes a serious risk, one we can't afford.
I have copies, they need originals.
No man makes documents.
Yeah, you mean forgeries.
You said a word, I will ask you.
There must be another way.
You sure you're truly qualified? What you're saying is that you can't get your transcripts because you're an enemy of the state in Syria.
It's the truth.
Some truths are better left unsaid.
What was that? Was it an explosion?
Transplant, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on S3.
Buoyed by the vociferous home crowd of 36,251 spectators at the Japoma Stadium in Douala on Saturday, Cameroon marched on to the last four as they brushed aside Gambia by 2-0 in the quarterfinals. Toko Carl Ekambi opened the score just 4 minutes inside the second half with a well-taken header as he combined with Fai Collins' third assist of the tournament, much to the delight of the home crowd. The Leon Star was back to complete his brace and also score his fifth goal of the tournament. Geskathi evalela phakathi i-cross ku-far post. Make that 11 goals for the indomitable Lions in this tournament. Onke futhi eshawa ngu-Ekambi no-captain wakhe uMonsieur Vincent Abubakar. Burkina Faso's fine form at the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations tournament continued unabated this past weekend when they narrowly beat Tunisia 1-0 to advance to the semi-finals. The only goal scored in this game was a tactical masterpiece from Kamo Malos. A swift counter-attacking move saw 19-year-old Lorient striker Denga Autara at the end of a pulsating move, and he dribbed and rounded the defense and fired past the advancing goalkeeper. Aye, afikile ama Stallions. Big temperament for big occasions, and that's what the Liverpool star Mo Salah showed in the North African Derby quarter-final as Egypt came from behind to beat Morocco 2-1 at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé. The Atlas Lions drew first blood as early as the 4th minute when Senegalese referee Maguette Ndiaye was overruled by VAR to award a penalty after Achraf Hakimi was brought down inside the box and Boufal while he stepped up to convert from the spot kick. Egypt responded in the 53rd minute. Morocco had failed to clear their lines during a corner kick as Bono could only parry a header off a corner kick to Salah's path and simply tapped in the equalizer. With the game in extra time, it needed something special, and it duly came. Iphumagena ye uMo Salah wabathwala emahlombe abadlali beMorocco, wathola uTrezeguet at the far end wabakhuzisa umnatha. A repeat of the 2017 AFCON final in the semis here, Egypt versus Morocco. Hey, shubile. The class of Senegalese players was evident last night when they stepped up to beat Equatorial Guinea 3-1 in the last quarter-final game. The Teranga Lions showed their clear intentions as early as the 28th minute as Turkish-based striker Famara Didio finished beautifully past the goalkeeper following a perfect assist from Sadio Mane. But just moments after Victor Gomez's earlier call for a penalty had been overturned by VAR, then Zalang Nacional pounced with an equalizer, and it was once again another brilliant move from the Central Africans as Yannick Baila was on hand to finish off Public and its great work in the 57th minute. Aige Alio Cisse usezokhipha ezekhismusi after only 3 minutes on the pitch. Chako Koyate wenza leza kadume ngazo wavusa Equatorial Guinea ilele ngasemva 2-1. And then the fight for Ismail Sarr against Watford would prove to be justified. After all, he has become the second sub to add his name on the score sheet, and by this time they were showing their class. They have set up a tantalizing semi-final against West African neighbours Burkina Faso on Wednesday night.
There's confirmation of it. That's what the quarterfinals look like. The host nation is still there. Burkina Faso have never ever won an Africa Cup of Nations. They're alive. Egypt, the 7-time champions, and Senegal looking for their first time. We'll be back after this with the insights.
Join us on a safari live journey as we explore and discover animal behavioral patterns.
Here comes the scrubby. The scrubbies run right underneath the car. You never know what's going to happen when you're out here.
We talk a lot about male lions in exaggerated terms.
And look at that poise. Now you'll find with leopards, they are very calculated in the way that they move. This is amazing.
The dry season is tough for herbivores and boom time for predators.
Look at how majestic that boy is. I do not know what might happen here, but we just want to follow them so very closely and see what happens. Because you never know what you're going to find next on a live safari.
Safari Live, Mondays at 7 p.m.
What motivates a killer? Is it in their DNA?
Most serial killers don't do random killings.
The young boy had a taste for harming and killing cats.
If he got blood from some external source as a kind of a supplement, then that might do the trick.
It was a horrific homicide because not only had he killed her, but she was pregnant at the time.
Some of his responses suggested that he was delusional.
You become socialized into imagining that how you are behaving is acceptable behavior.
As fear spread in the community, the random nature of the killings meant few clues.
Killers by Nature, Born to Kill, Saturday at 10 p.m. Consult the #1 ladies detective agency. Jill Scott plays detective. And from the get-go, she's onto something.
A serious crime has been committed. I think I know what it is. Ivory smugglers.
You're accusing me of being a criminal.
I'm not finished. One night, a lady detective. That is me. Behind every window, there are so many people who want to know the truth about some mystery in their lives. Some mystery they cannot solve themselves. That is what a detective is for. And that is what I will do.
The #1 ladies detective agency, Thursday 9:30 on 2.
Tune in and stay entertained with our sports shows on SABC Sport. Keep up with the best sports entertainment, brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Well, one thing that came through in the quarterfinals was that Vincent Abubakar is not the only threat that Cameroon have. They have Toko Akambi, and you want to look at what he did really well in the 2 goals that he got.
He does really well. He plays his football for Lyon. But what the man that impresses me is Faye. And as you roll it, I want to pause it there because this is a throw-in. Look at the men around the ball that are not pressing Faye in terms of bringing in that cross. He's not being pressed. He's given all the space and time. Let's look at the goal scorer in blue. They're looking uninterested. That is Nkambi. His ability to find the spaces in between the defenders. As Faye brings in that ball, look at the movement of Vincent Abubakar to the near post, leaving that space and the central area for Nkambi. He has played 5 games so far for Cameroon in this AFCON, scoring 5 goals. Every time that Vincent Abubakar does not score, there is always Nkambi that is there to be able. Look at the run to the near post from Vincent Abubakar, very critical. When you're looking at Nkambi's form, it reminds me of what he's doing for Lyon in the Europa Cup. 6 games that he has played there, 6 goals that he has scored to go together with the 2 assists. So this form is really impressing me for Cameroon.
The lesson learned there, you can't let Faye cross. You just can't let him the space that he had to cross there. Tora Mera simply allowed the cross.
Yeah. Passive marking, you cannot do that at this level of the game because you will get punished. There's no time for passive marking. Go and put pressure on the ball. Don't allow the cross because, I mean, 2 strikers who scored 11 goals, you don't want to give them any sniff.
Now, a player who had a great game and also a game he'll want to forget all in one is Dango Ouattara. Moving on to Burkina Faso and Tunisia here. He does brilliantly here, Mark. I mean, absolutely brilliantly. Dango Ouattara putting his nation into the lead.
And he was pivotal in them getting to this point because he was the one who put his captain through in the last game with a champagne pass, as you called it, Thomas. Beautiful, strong, powerful, composure inside the box, everything you want. He's been a really, really top player. The Lorient man plays his football in France, absolutely, and is only 19 years old, if you can believe that.
He finds the net. You're thinking, great, what a way to start for Dango Ouattara. He doesn't finish the game, though.
He does not.
He gets sent off in the same match.
You can also refer that to his age. At the age of 19, there is pressure. Thomas. And in this time, he gets the goal here. And when he gets the goal, it's on the critical phase of the game. He gets the goal on the 45th minute, going to half-time. In this moment, look at the time. Now, he's tired. He's an offensive player. He's being asked to come defend. He rises the highest. I don't know why he sees why he must use his elbow. And he does get him with the elbow. It's malicious. There's intent. It's excessive
and
force.
It's the middle of the field.
I don't agree. I don't think there's malice. I don't think there's malice or intent in that. Pumuzo knows. Pumuzo's a striker, Thomas. I can guarantee you. Pumuzo, what were you taught? When you jump, you protect yourself with your elbows.
Look at the right arm. Look at the elbow.
It's his moment. Guys,
it's a red card all day.
I'm not sure about that one.
The thing that bothers me is
I'd
that
like to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Where he's doing it on the field. It's a nowhere area. There's nothing. There's no reason to do that there.
Exactly. So I don't think it was intentional to hurt. He jumped and he's protecting himself because that's what he's taught to do. Pumuzo was told, protect yourself. Keep
Moving on. If you've been showing you the theme of teams going out of the tournament when they miss, right? And well, here, if you go with this from Salah, this is the next game, Egypt, Morocco, Mo Salah finding the back of the net. Mo Salah,
again, predatory instincts there from Mo Salah, knows exactly where to be, and definitely there was questions of whether he's onside or not, whether he's offside, definitely not offside. Great call. You can see there, it's Haddadi that's actually playing him onside. Number 10 playing the other number 10 onside, but the composure, knows right place, right time. That's what we can expect from Salah.
Right, so there he is. See the number 10 jersey in white. He was playing Mo Salah on when the header comes in. And when he pounces, absolutely no doubt what's going to happen there. Egypt turning this game around, guys. A result where they were 1-0 down, turning it around into a 2-1 victory, that was big.
You can see a winning mentality, championship mentality. You can see Salah coming into the tournament slowly and surely. Great positioning, good finish for Salah. And that's one thing that impressed me in this game. Also, you're looking at Trezeguet coming off the bench. This is the man that plays his football, Thomas, at Aston Villa. But Gabaski makes a great save in this instance. Now, keep in mind, this is the second choice goalkeeper making a great save. The Zamalek goalkeeper makes a great save. That's where he injures himself.
Right. So there he is. He goes down. And that now leaves the third choice to be the man. Abu Galal has gone out. And Egypt have a crisis, except the good news for them, though, is they took 4 goalkeepers. So they've got 3 and 4 choice still available. However, that's what will have to be a decision made in the next games. I want to move on to Senegal, Equatorial Guinea, guys, and look at the substitutions that were made there, because there were some key moments here by Aliou Cissé, the coach of Senegal, that changes the game.
Yeah, you're talking about the Crystal Palace man, Kouyaté, very experienced, was there at the 2018 World Cup doing the work for them. That is Kouyaté, the man that we were speaking about. Very key. Also, very important when it comes to offensive set plays. When you look at it, look at how he positions himself in the far post. Great anticipation. He reads where the ball is going to go. First opportunity that they don't clear the ball. When it goes to Kouyaté, that's his first touch of the game. Now you have to talk about the coach's influence. The coach's influence, looking at his bench, knowing which player to substitute, which player to bring on, and the experience of Kouyaté here, the man plays in the Premiership, Thomas, and you can see the reading of the game and how he finishes in this instance.
Just 3-4 minutes after coming on, Kouyaté scores. When you look at Sarr had also been on the field as a second-half substitution, brought on to try and turn this game around. He also finds the net.
And Sarr was brought in late into the squad as well. It's his first introduction into the tournament, and he does exceptionally well, ultimately sealing the deal. But you have to give credit to Aliou Cissé. I've been feeling for him all tournament. His team have not been playing their part, but he did well.
All right, so let's hear from what the assistant coach of Egypt had to say, Roger Dessau.
Didn't work out in the first 5 minutes, as you saw, with the penalty. But after that, I thought we got better and we got stronger as the game went on. And, you know, at the end it could have been more maybe, but great performance, great character. And it's good to be in the Final Four. I think Carlos has done very well with that, brought some discipline into the side. Tactical awareness is good for us as well. And then obviously, you know, the flair that we have, a couple of the players have been really good.
Roger Dessau, Carlos Queiroz' assistant, he had something to say, and our very own Veli Les, the man doing the interviews over there in Egypt. Thank you to him for being on the ground and getting that interview. Burkina Faso, Senegal, you want to pick a winner?
Senegal.
And then Cameroon, Egypt.
The host country for me, Cameroon. I know that there's only 2 players that scores goals. 11 goals for Cameroon, but it's divided between the 6 for Vincent Abubakar and the 5 for Ikambi. So I'm looking at Cameroon going through to the final.
Are they right? At Soccerzone for sure. Give us your views. That's it as far as the show is concerned tonight. I'm Thomas Mlambo, that's Mark Haskins, that's Pumuzo Manenje, and you have been updated. Good night.
Hello and welcome to The Match Extra. The month of February sees Liverpool competing on 4 separate fronts.